Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. The Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshua, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rekah Korash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready accepted or not. In the sincere salutation to all the occupant pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the whole elect. Shalom to the outward who are listening and learning. You few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Solano Camp coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord, will us be edifying. So I titled this lesson, Sell Out Hebrew Israelites That Fight for the Good Life. And that's your house niggas. Okay, that's your so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, and Haitian celebrities. Whether they movie actors, musicians, or athletes, okay? They are all house niggas. Sell out Hebrew Israelites that's fighting for the good life. And these are the same spirits coming back over and over. So let me read this. This is our copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. You see it. So I got this article because the apostles always talk about they always make mention of this guy Julius Tiberius Alexander, which was a Jake that led the army of Vespasian and Titus to take down Jerusalem. So I got the article I'm going to show. But first I want to play this again because you always got these. It's always Jakes among our people, these sellout house niggas that want their life that Esau Edom has laid out in front of them, man. So I want to play this clip again from the movie Roots. I did a lesson on this the other week about house nigga syndrome, because you always got sellout Jakes. We have always had sellout Jakes that want to follow the so-called white man. Okay? They always want to follow the heathen customs, period. This has been since we left Egypt, man. You always had Jake that wanted to follow heathen customs, even before Egypt. So, Lord, will be edifying. I'm going to play this first. Then I'm going to get this article. I'm going to read some of this article about this guy, Julius Tiberius Alexander, which was a Jake that led the army of Titus and Vespasian to take down Jerusalem, man. There was a Jake that did that, man. So let me play this first. Because in this is heavy, this clip in this video right here.
We never relax.
You see, start off saying we ain't never relaxed. And the lesson that I did on this titled the House Negro Syndrome, we ain't gonna never be relaxed. I tell you, Micah 2 and 10, this is not our rest. Okay? This is not our rest. He mentioned Lot, right? The lots. And what did they do to so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians right here in Babylon, the Great North America? They cast us upon lots, man. Wall Street was built off the blood, sweat, and tears off the backs of Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Okay, I tell you that in Joel 3, man.
I say that. don't like it.
And you see how he said? He said, Fiddler, you told me that he was one of the best ones of the lot. When you watched the movie Birth of a Nation with Nat Turner, what did Nat tell his master about the chick? That she'll be a good servant for the master's wife. Remember, if you saw the movie, Esau always used Jake to pick out good bucks. Okay? They always did this.
I'm saying that from now on, that understands the exact 6 months until my birthday.
Reynolds, I don't quite know how to thank you. You sure know how to make my days happy, Master Reynolds. Yes, sir. Your pleasure for sure.
Do as I say, Fiddler. All the thanks.
See, that's what the house niggas say. About making his days lovely. Right? So what did he say next?
Master Reynolds.
You see? I love you, Master Reynolds. That's Jeremiah 2:33, man. Jake have trimmed their ways to seek love from this devil because they want the good life. And the point of this lesson is at the end, we're going to play.
Now I'm riding ahead to Campbell's Inn, get me a tank of the mail. You catch up with me just as soon as that horse is shoot.
Master, you gonna leave me a paper saying that you give permission for old Fiddler to be out here with this here guinea man? Because if any white folks come by and see us out here by themselves, they just liable up and take us for runaways.
Oh, yes, sure they would, wouldn't they? So I wouldn't take too much time shoeing that horse if I were you.
Yes, sir. Wouldn't take too long shoeing that horse if I was you. Wouldn't take too long. I'd right enough say I wouldn't take too long. You hear, Massa? Toby Guinea Man? You hear him tell old Fiddler about you into some righteous sort of field hand? Lord, you don't even know your name. First lesson. You Toby, and I's Fiddler. And I'll rip your black hide if you don't do what I say. You don't know where you're going. You don't know about hoeing no tobacco. You don't know about no Mr. Ames with no whip. Don't know how to talk even. Get on up in there. No. And you on a wagon. This is a wagon. You say wagon. You say wagon.
Where?
That's who you is, yeah? Plays for the Christmas and the Jubilo. Sarah's Fiddler, that's me. And you say, Toby. Kunta Kinte. Oh, no, that's your African name. Must have give you a new name. Must have say, you name Toby. Hey, what's the matter with you? Cut me loose.
Kunta Kinte.
You Africans is all alike. Crazy. Must have say your name is Toby. That's who you is. He own you. He can do anything he want with you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. I've been scratching and scrambling most of my days to get where I got. Now I eats in the big house kitchen. I got pine boards on the floor of my cabin. And it don't take much coughing for the master to make me have a cup of corn whiskey for my medicine. Now that is fine living for a nigga, and I'll be damned if any African Guinea man is gonna make me lose all I've been working for. Now you take my meaning?
He don't speak the king's language. That's in Deuteronomy 28, which I did in the lesson, man. The Lord says he's going to send a nation against us from far, right? Whose tongue thou should not understand. And he mentioned it, the Edomite mentioned it, he need to speak the king's language. So I got this article of this guy. Let me just put it up here, cause you always had sellout Jace, man. Always. So this is Julius Alexander. Yeah, Tiberius Julius Alexander. They say he was an Egyptian Jew. They stayed in Alexandria. We're gonna read. Hold on. They say Tiberius Alexander, Tiberius Julius Alexander, Egyptian Jew, Roman governor of Judea, 46 to 48, and Egypt, 68 to 69, one of the commanders during the Roman siege of Jerusalem, 70 AD. It say Tiberius Julius Alexander was born as the son of a rich Jew from Alexandria, who was also called Tiberius Julius Alexander. Father Alexander served as chief customs officer and had offered financial help to the mother of the emperor Claudius, Antonia. Antonia. It say his brother was a philosopher, Philo, and his younger son was Marcus, the husband of Princess Berenice, the daughter of the Jewish king Herod Agrippa. In other words, the younger Tiberius Julius Alexander belonged to one of the most influential families in the Roman East, a family that stood in three cultural traditions: Jewish, Greek, and Roman. They had the status of Roman knights. So you see, and it goes on this article. It's a lot in this article, man. It's fire, man. So it say during the reign of the Emperor Caligula, a pogrom took place in the Alexandria Mall. It say the result was an increase of anti-Semitism and a change in Judaism, which started to look inside instead of outside. Where the elder Alexander had been able to combine Judaism and a Greco-Roman attitude, attitude, his son may have had to make a choice. How he combined the two, we did not know. We do not know. But there is no evidence that he was an apostate. His first known office was of the commander of, let's say, Tabin district in southern Egypt, and later he was made prefect of Judea, 46 to 48. So let me get some of this right here. It says in 68, Alexander was made prefect of Egypt, a very important function. This was probably one of the last appointments by the Emperor Nero. He now commanded two legions. They say three Sister Cyrenica and Deoterian, Deoterian, Deotyrian, Tyrian, Tyrania, Tyrania. It say which he was forced to use against the Jews of Alexandria. Ethnic violence was not uncommon in ancient Egypt. According to Flavius Josephus, no less than 50,000 Jews were killed when Alexander sent the legions to the Jewish quarter. This meant the end of one of once very large and powerful Jewish communities of Alexandria. The full story can be read. So you got this guy was killing Jake in Alexandria, man. It's the Jewish insurrection in Alexandria was not an isolated incident. War had broken out in Judea. The Jews had revolted to fiscal reasons, but there was an increasing messianic element in their motivation. It's the Emperor Nero had sent one of his best generals to suppress the Jewish rebellion. Titus Flavius Vespasian Vespasianus, or to use the English, read it's a uh, rendered of his name Vespasian. He was very successful. Early in 69, he had already broken the back of the revolt, although the siege of Jerusalem still remained. So here's a Jake that killed Jake in Alexandria. It say 50,000. It said no less than 50,000 Jews were killed when Alexander sent the legions to the Jewish quarter in Alexandria, man. This guy was a straight demon, man. But this is Jake. This is Jake, man. There's a lot in this article, man. This article is fire. I was reading it for a while last night, man. This article is fire. Here's the image of Vespasian and Titus. These devils, man. So this guy led this army, man. So I just want to make a point, and I'm gonna get a couple precepts. Cause these guys, Jake, always fighting to follow the king, man. It's all about that, and that's why, hey, our women, man, our women flock to power. And who got the power? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. So hold on, let me get this. Jake always following these devils, man. But it always been like this. We always follow heathen cuss. When you read about this guy in Second Chronicles 25, Amaziah, right? When he went to go take down the Edomites and say he killed over 10,000 when he pushed the Edomites over the cliff and say he went to go take their gods and worship their gods, man. So I'm gonna get this verse in Psalms 10 and 10. It reads, he croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And this is talking about Esau, even the so-called white man. They say he croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. So you see, Esau set up these jakes, man. And we already know this. In Jeremiah 5 and 26, it reads this. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. Right? So Jake, it say, let's read again. Jeremiah 5 and 26. For among my people I found wicked men, they lay wait as he that setteth snares, they set a trap, they catch men. You see? So Jake doing the same thing as Esau Edom doing. Well, let's say he set them up. Again, Psalms 10 and 10. He croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And Esau is using who? Who is his strong ones? He's using Jake, man. He's using your athletes, your movie actors. Hey, who made a lot of Jake take that jump shot, man? They used this guy Bill Russell. Well, Bill Russell at now back in the spiritual realm. They used Walter Payton. Where he at? Back in the spiritual realm. Okay? They used Bill Russell, Walter Payton, and there was a commercial, Walgreens commercial, with John Legend. What did he say? This is our shot to get back to normal, man. And the apostles been saying this for years, man. The apostles been saying they're going to use Jake to make Jake take the MOTB. Okay? And any other thing out there, man, whatever it is, they're going to use Jake to make Jake take these things, man. Jake is the one that these devils use to destroy Jake. It say, this is our Psalms 10 and 10. He croucheth, the so-called white man, he croucheth and humble himself that the poor, you Israelites, may fall by his strong ones. The strong ones that they set up, you're athletes, you're movie actors, okay? They use your TD Snakes and Teflo Dollar and Geno Jennings. They're using Pastor Bryant. And they're using your favorite Israelites, man. Again, in Jeremiah 5 and 26, it reads, for among my people I found wicked men. It reads, they lay wait as he that set of snares. Who is the he that set of snares? It's Esau Edom. Let's read this again in Psalms 10 and 9. It reads, He lieth in wait. Matter of fact, let's read verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent are the Israelites. His eyes are privy set against the poor. You see, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. See, these devils draw you in through what? Enticing you, man. Because they tell you in Psalm 64, they accomplish a diligent search, man. They search out iniquities. It say, he cries and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. So these devils set up your so-called leaders. In Psalm 64, verse 5, it reads, they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of land snares privily. You see, they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. You see? So it say, again, it said, he do what? Let's read it one more time. Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of land snares privately. So in Jeremiah 5, this is the Lord talking about what Jake doing the same thing this devil do. Jeremiah 5 and 26. For among my people I found wicked men. They lay wait as he that set of snares. You see the separation? They lay wait as he that set of snares. They set a trap. They catch men. Right? In Jeremiah 2 and 33 it reads, why trimmest thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. So he croucheth and humble himself, right? That the poor may fall by his strong ones. So you got the so-called white man set up your celebrities, set up your who Jake looked to for uh gods, basically, idol worshiping. Cause when you ask the average Jake, young Jake, what he want to be, he gonna see either a basketball player or a football player, or he want to play baseball. It gotta do with sports. You don't hear most young Jakes talking about they want to be a doctor or a heart surgeon, right? You don't hear Jake talking about that, man. It got something to do with being an entertainer, a court jester for the devil, man. This is Isaiah. This is Isaiah 28 and 14. It reads, wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men, that rule this people, which is in Jerusalem. The Lord said, ye scornful men that rule this people. It's talking about your Kanye Wests and your Jay-Z's and your LeBron James and Kyrie Irvings. It's talking to them, man. Your TD Snakes and Teflo Dollars. The ones that a lot of Jake look to this demon, what his name is? This Islam guy, Farrakhan, man. Demons, man. It say Isaiah 28 and 14, wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people, which is in Jerusalem. This is giving you points. It's talking about Israelite men that's being set up by who? The so-called white man. Because Jake don't have no power. You got these guys like Killer Mike talking about he opened up the first black digital bank. Well, who currency is it? Because it ain't his. Killer Mike don't own nothing. Who's behind the first black digital bank? So-called white people. Okay? 1948ers, man. Wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people, which is in Jerusalem. And then when that had happened to Nick Cannon, P. Diddy was telling Nick Cannon to come over there. He can do what he want to do over there. No, he can't. P. Diddy don't own nothing, man. And I'm gonna say it over and I'm gonna say it over and over and over, man. None of P. Diddy's and Michael Jordan's and Oprah Winfrey don't own none of them freights that come in at the ports, man. They don't own none of that, man. None of them own Whole Foods or Publix. They don't own no Whole Foods. They don't own no Walmarts and Sam's Clubs and what's these other ones? Uh Costco's, right? They don't own none of that, man. Jake don't own nothing here in Babylon the Great, man. Nothing. It say, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death. Matter of fact, 14 again. Isaiah 20 and 14. Because it's talking about our men, man. Wherefore hear the word of the Lord, Yahweh. Right, BJ's. Right. BJ's, Costco's, Sam Clubs. Jake don't own none of that, man. Wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people, which is in Jerusalem. Oh, them over 100 food processing plants that burnt down. Those food processing plants. Jake don't own none of that, man. Jake don't own none of that, man. It said, wherefore ye scornful men, wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. You see? And this is what Jake has done, man. Over and over and over and over, time and time again, man. Every third and fourth generation, Jake always come back and sell out, man. His first Maccabees 11 and 1. Salakia. First Maccabees 1 and 11. It reads, in those days went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. And they said the same thing in Jeremiah 44. The women talk about, let us go and burn incense until the queen of heaven and pour out drink offerings. And they said, what? Let me get it. In Jeremiah, let's come back to Maccabees. In Jeremiah 44, and this way you can't tell these women nothing now, man. This is Jeremiah 44. What the Lord said in Jeremiah 31 and 22, he will do a new thing in the earth when our women shall come past us. So this is Jeremiah 44 in verse. Let's read this. It's Jeremiah 44 and 15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burnt incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by a great multitude of women, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt, and Pathros answered Jeremiah, saying, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee, but we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes, in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. Then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by the sword and by famine. You see, and this is what they say in the first Maccabees. Let's read it again. First Maccabees 1 and 11. In those days went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. It's saying the same thing in Jeremiah, man, which is a lie, because it's all from the Lord. Let's read this again. Jeremiah 44 and verse 18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. And when we burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her, and pour out drink offers unto her without our men. So here's the women. That's why you can't get a woman from celebrating Christmas, man. Okay, worshiping Tammuz, man. Semiramis and Tammuz. But this is Jake, over and over, time and time again, men and women, making a covenant with these devils. It say, back in First Maccabees 1:11, in those days went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the order of the heathen. When you make it to Hollywood, you got to sign that contract, man. Okay? That's a license giving you permission to do as they tell you to do. When we get a license, man, they giving you permission. License means permission to drive, man. Okay? You get a license, you open up a business that you whether you making candlesticks or you making soaps, that's a permission, man. If you selling it out of a building, okay, because you got to get taxed. If you got a building set up somewhere on the avenue, some street, you get taxed for that, man. So, okay, it say then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king. Well, we got to go at. We got to go to the devil for the one of all things, man. It say they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. And this is what we've been doing. What did the Lord say? Proverbs 3 and 31. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. So when the Lord put the spirit on you to wake up, you come out of this, man. You come out of it. And that's why these devils, hey, they can't come against this truth, man. They can't, the men of the Lord that the Lord have put the spirit on and reactivated, you can't change these men. See, we don't got nothing to lose, man. We don't got nothing to lose. But these ones that done sold out because they want to they want to follow the cousin of the heathen, man. They fighting for the good life. Hey, the devil can threaten them, man. You heard what Kyrie said, man. He just want to play basketball. Of course you do. Of course you just want to be a court jester for these devils, man. You just want to be a court jester, man. Jake just want to get their perks in captivity and just be okay with it, man. Now the Lord is raising up a standard in the earth, man. This is First Maccabees 2. I love to read this, man. About Mattathias, right? This First Maccabees 2. I'm gonna start here at 7. It reads. Matter of fact, let's read 6. It say, and when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, Mattathias and his sons, Judas Maccabees, Eleazar, Avaron, and Jonathan, right? It say, and when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see the misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. Her temple is become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets, her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? Because all nations had a hand on us, man, but they're going to pay. All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she has become a bond slave. What did it tell you in Galatians 4 and 26? Jerusalem is the mother is the mother of us all, man, right? Which is free. It say, and behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste. That's what we tell you, Jakes, man. And when the Lord casts our beauty down to the ground, man, it said, behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn them very sore. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Moden to make them sacrifice. And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in the city, and strengtheneth with sons and brethren. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done. See, everybody got to follow the devil away. That's why I tell you in Isaiah 14, in Revelation 17 and 16, the 10 horns upon the beast, they shall hate the whore. Because these kings of the earth, all these heathen that made a covenant with this devil, hey, everybody tired of this devil, man. It said, now therefore come first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all heathen have done. Yeah, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem, so shall thou in thy house be in the number of thy king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away from everyone and fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. It said, God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment, which thing when Metatadeus saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to the judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Also, the king's commissioners, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Thus did he zealously for the law of God, like as Phineas, Phineas did unto Zimri, which is in number 25, the son of Salom. And Metatatus cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So that's why it says in Revelation 12 and 17, let everyone that is zealous for the law, zealously for the law, and follow the status and the covenant of the Lord, let him follow who? Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai? Revelation 12 and 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Why? Which keep the commandment of God and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. So these devils, man, that's why they're going to come down with that great wrath, because these are the ones in Isaiah 13 and 2 that's shaking their hand at them, right? Job 15 and 21, right? The dreadful sign is in their ears. Jeremiah 15 and 43, it said the king had heard the report of them, right? Because these are the ones, as Mattathias said, let's read that again. First Maccabees 2 in verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice. No, right here. Yeah. He said, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we shall forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all the sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. So the point I want to make right here, this is verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice. What the whole flag doing? Crying throughout the city, man. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. And that's what the Lord said in John 10 and 27, man. Right? So here it is. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaining the covenant, let him follow me. So these devils is that them that's what? Revelation 12 and 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Because the testimony is them being destroyed, man. This place is going to burn with fire in North America, Babylon the Great. This place is going down. The testimony is the Lord got you destroying the infrastructure, okay, the economy. Yahweh Shema Shai got you destroying your monetary system so you can bring in this digital currency, which is the MOTB. The Lord got you doing that. And we're here to tell you, you're not doing it on your own. The Lord got you doing it. Proverbs 21 and 1 said, the king's heart as the rivers of water. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He turneth it whatsoever he will, man. This is the message, man. Okay, this is the testimony of Yahushua that the Lord is coming to destroy these devils. They're going to turn themselves. They have always been fighting amongst themselves. Always. Okay, you go back to the Greeks with Alexander and his 4 generals, right? You got uh with the French, Spanish, and the British wars, man. The Edomites have always been fighting amongst themselves, man. And they tell you in Mark 3, man, okay, they are a house divided. In Luke 11, they divided, man. But the message is, the testimony of Yahushua is, this place is finna fall, man. Finna be destroyed. So y'all was reading this article, so I want to make some point. It's a fire article too, man. Of this sellout guy, Tiberius Julius Alexander, man. Sellout nigga, man. Sold out to take down Jerusalem, man. Okay? He was the reason, man. He was the main reason. Well, it's the Lord, we know, but the Lord set up a Jake to lead the army of Titus and Vespasian, man. And this is your sellout house syndrome niggas, man. So Lord was edifying. I gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rekah Kodash. The bonus to the apostles and the bishops and elders of great millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, already accepted or not. In the sense of salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth, leaving this truth to the four winds of the earth, the entire world working up the whole for the elect. Shalom to our wife who are listening learning. You few sisters who are listening learning. Lord is edifying. Tonight time I say shalom. Welcome, for tuning in. May Yahweh Shema Shah continue blessing your houses. Stay prayed up. Look at this, man. It say Tiberius Julius Alexander was born as the son of a rich Jew from Alexandria, man. Okay? He had that silver gold spoon in his mouth, man. And if you ain't born like that, what Jake tried to do? Jake tried to reach Esau status, man. And the Lord said in Proverbs 3 and 31, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. But see, Jake don't understand, well, if I ain't trying to get it this way, how do I get it? Man, in Psalm 68:19, the Lord said he daily loaded us with benefits, man. Oh, let me get this. In Proverbs, and see, Jake think they're prospering, and it's them, especially these women. They think it's them that went to college and got these bachelors and associates and masters and PhDs, right? It was me. I did that. I got this BMW. I got this nice house. I'm making this $200,000 a year. I'm doing this. This is Proverbs 26 and 10. The great God that formed all things, both rewardeth the fool and rewardeth transgressors, man. And guess what? Verse 11 say, as a dog returned to his vomit, so a fool returned to his folly, man. Guess what? Everyone that made the Hollywood, rather rapping, playing, you're an athlete, however you got there, guess what? You're going to return to your folly. Michael Jackson showed you that. Okay? The king of pop showed you that. He died with nothing. Prince died with nothing. Red Fox died with nothing. Richard Pryor died with nothing. And these was the best of the best. Kobe. That nigga said he got up every morning and shot 1,000 jumpers every day. That nigga wasn't even retired 5-6 years. He didn't even get to live to enjoy his money. That nigga died with nothing. And his wife selling all his selling everything he got, his wife done sold it. And her mama fighting over his money. A fool, it's the great God that formed all things, both reward the fool and reward the transgressors. So you got these Christians, oh God, bless me with a house and a car. Guess what? Guess what's going to happen in the end if you ain't seeking the Lord? If you ain't seeking the truth of the Lord, you're going to die, man. Grievous death. And to tell you in Job 36, they shall die without knowledge, man. And most of our people dying without knowing the Lord, man. The great God that formed all things, Proverbs 26 and 10, both reward the fool and reward the transgressors. As a dog returned to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. The so-called white man, the scripture call him a fool. They children of men, right? Well, the Lord said it in Daniel 4 and 17. He rose them up just to put us in check. Well, guess what? Now the Lord said he's raising up the hopeful elect of Israel to reprove the Edomites. And now they finna return to their folly, okay? Which is back to the pits. That's where they going. Back to the pits, man. Why gain the whole world, as Yahweh Shah said? Why gain the whole world and lose your soul, man? So, till next time, Shalom. Wah, abba, abba, for tuning in. May Yahweh Shah continue blessing your houses. Stay prayed up.